Hello, Radiant Minds. It's been ages, and I'm super glad to be right here with you guys, and I'm better and in a greater way. So I hope you guys are doing great. I hope you all have been having yourself a fun-free day. So today, I'm going to be, just with you guys about my conception story. As you all know, I got married in 2021. That was March 26th and 27th. I became legally married to my heartthrob. And I've heard it's necessary to relate this story because there are some other persons out there who are in relatable situations, you understand? And my story may be inspiring or insightful to some persons. I'm sure that you can take an idea. Once, the TTC moms, my well wishers, my families, my friends, to see, the wisdom path from this story. So March 26th and 27th, 2021, I got clicked to my heartthrob. And because we didn't really have this quality time, dating, probably exploring sexually and all that, we had an understanding that after a wedding ceremony, we're gonna take quality time, you understand, to explore sexually, travel, go on dates, you understand, and to become better couples. But there's something that that sounds so incredible, and it's something that is really very common in this African community. When a person gets married, like the people around would not give you peace. They'll start asking you even few days after, you don't enter. Oh my god. I can tell you that after getting married, like few days after my wedding ceremony, I could get questions from people like, you don't enter, like close relatives, you understand? And I can tell you that friends outside too were also asking, even when my marriage wasn't up to 9 months. And you know that some person thought I was already pregnant before getting married because I did not do a church wedding. I had a civil wedding and a traditional wedding exercise. So some people thought probably I was pregnant. Hence the reason why my wedding was planned within a short period. And some of that afraid that was the reason why I didn't have to do a church wedding. Not at all. It was just a matter of preference. You get it? And I can tell you that after my wedding exercise, when I go out there to the market, to event centers, to the neighborhood, you get it? I meet people that I know so well. And the next question that pops out from their mouth is, it never answer when one can say shop, dedication rights, things like that. And I felt people usually ask these questions most times out of concern, but it could be pretentiously or it could be mockery in disguise. And a lot of times people tend to, disregard how sensitive questions like this may sound. You get it? Because you are not in people's shoes. You don't understand their philosophy. You don't know what they're going through. And the moment they get married, the next thing is you don't enter, you don't enter. Oh my God. So when we kept getting alarming, questions like this, you don't enter, you don't enter, we as a couple, we actually had our plan, mapped out that we're going to have at least one fresh hair, one free hair, nothing like trying to conceive, you get it? But when the pressure kept coming, and I'm a lady, as an African lady, the pressure falls more on you, not necessarily as an African man, you get it? And even when there is a problem, the African community always, emphasizes on the woman. You understand? The woman's fertility is always questioned. So when questions like this started coming, we had to defile our plan and we started trying to have a baby. Mm. So I could tell you that in the course of marriage, we were just having a life in a like in a free spirited way. And we kept trying. This time around, we're not zealous about having our own babies. And when we decided to start making our babies, then we realized that it wasn't coming forth, and that gave us great, concern. A few months afterwards, I missed my period, and I was super glad. At least this time around, people will not come and start asking me, you don't enter, things like that. Why am I saying this? I want you to listen like to every detail so that you can learn from my experience. I'm not a gynecologist, neither am I a health practitioner. And I understand that our body operates differently. You get it? So this may not be other people's story, but I'm telling you my story. So a few months into marriage, I missed my period, and that gave pregnancy, instinct. So at when due, I had my pregnancy test, and it was positive. So we were sailing progressively with the pregnancy. And at that time, I understood I needed to take smoothies, I needed to take a lot of fruits, but there was something I did very wrong. I did not take it in moderation. So I could recall how I, consumed a full, pineapple fruit and ample dose of dates. So I never really thought it's, wrong to do such. I just felt I was eating right. I just felt I was eating healthy. But I could tell you that a few hours afterwards, I lost the pregnancy. And that was a very heartbreaking one. So we visited the hospital to, get treated and get fixed. The medical practitioners trying to indicate the cause of such miscarriage. All indications were pointing towards my diet, which was the pineapple and the date fruits that I consumed in ample quantity. Like, I'm a kind of person that when it comes to fruits, I can eat a lot of numbers. I can eat in excessive quantities and I'll get extravagantly fat. You get it? I eat fruits without, fear of getting fat. Like, I consume fruits and vegetables without the fear of being obese. You get it? So due to that, I always consume these products at that time, not now, because I've learned and I've grown. At that time, I always consume these products extravagantly. You get it? So that was the case then. And sadly, I lost the pregnancy. So we kept believing, we stayed optimistic, and we moved on. We kept trying again this time around. And I can tell you for free that the period dates kept keeping to accuracy. Every month, I'll get myself tested with my pregnancy test strip, and the next result comes out negative. This happened for a period of 1 year, and we decided to, get herbal medications. But before then, I stayed very, like I stayed religiously, faithful to my folic acid consumption. Nothing was coming forth, and we had to resort to herbal medication. In the course of that, like I took herbal medications that I couldn't even imagine myself taking, considering the smell, considering the look, considering, considering the nature. You get it? It was something really I'm sorry to use the word, it was something really disgusting to me, but out of, should I call it desperation or determination, I was, anxious to have my baby before the first year of, marriage elapsed, because I knew that if it exceeds that period of time, the suspicion is going to be there, negative, opinions are going to be reflected towards me, you know, tongues are gonna be waggling, you understand? And really it happened, you get it? So I kept believing, month in, month out, months in, months out, nothing happened. Prayer kept coming very accurately, and then I knew that there was fire on the mountain. So this time around, we had to go repeat all the fertility tests that were undergone before we got married. We had to go repeat them all. Everything came out flawlessly, and we are advised to keep trying, that there's no cause for alarm because we're still very young in marriage. I'm still talking about the first 1 year of marriage. So we keep encroaching towards the second year this time around. And there was a need to go to another medical facility and have ourselves tested. So we consulted another great, gynecologist in town, and we are given series of tests to undergo. We ladies had to go through diverse tests, both the ones that are convenient for us and both the ones that are not convenient. But for the men, most times you just let them go through sperm counts analysis. You get it? So my husband had to go through that, get his sperm tested for, you understand, for analysis. And everything was flawless. And I had to go through my some of those tests I did were pap smear, HSG, transvaginal ultrasound, hormonal profile, etc. And these tests were not coming so cheap. They were very expensive. I promise you, they were very expensive. So I had no choice. I had to undergo this. But you know that while I was doing all these tests, there was one test that came last. Like I had to put that last. Although some of these tests were tests that were, you understand, they were scheduled for me because they were not tests that I can just wake up and say, let me run them all at once. They were tests that I had to do at specific intervals. You get it? So there were some that I had to do some days after my period, like the hormonal profile. You get it? So it was really very inconveniencing to my schedule, to my system. Like it was also emotionally draining. I must tell you, it was emotionally draining. So while at that time, I will always, patronize all other tests and keep HSG for last. So when it was time, HSG is very discomforting. So ladies really go through a lot. I can tell you, like if you have a lady beside you, just give that lady a flower. You get it. They deserve the best. Like women lives are filled with beautiful pains, beautiful pains, sacrificial pains. You get it. So we had to go through the necessary test, and it came this time. This was the second time we're running. Like we're repeating this test, and everything came out flawless again. This time around, because of our desperation, we needed to ask the gynecologist, just give us some supplement, at least something to boost my egg, and for my husband, something to boost his sperm. And they told us to go home to keep practicing the baby dance. We continue with this. Then it was almost 2 years this time around in marriage, and nothing was still happening. I had to switch to another EBA, midwife, and I was taking a different dose of herbal drugs this time around. Like sometimes when my husband sees this drug, it just like there's this pity that rolls out from his side or that reflects from his eyes. You understand? Like we just look at me in pity. It was really that demanding. It was that tasking. I had to put forth every flare aside. I had to disregard the smell. I had to disregard the look. I had to disregard the nature, you understand, and take the drug because I wanted it to work. All eyes on me, African woman. Whenever fertility is not getting established, there are like questions are always navigated towards the African women. Nobody's actually asking about the African men, like, what's up? What's going on? What are you doing? Have you gone yourself tested? Nobody really does that to an African man. But for an African woman, she's strong. I can tell you, women are absolutely strong, emotionally and otherwise. So this was my case then. Afterwards, while I was still, taking my EBA medications in progress, we had to visit the third facility this time around to repeat all necessary fertility tests, and we repeated them all, regardless of how discomforting it could be. And it came out flawless again. So I thought to myself, it's 2 years already of marriage. And I think I need to put in more fire. I think I need to put in more fight. I think I need to make more research. I understand that Google is not the perfect place to go for research, but I must tell you that this time around, I began to consult Google. I began to abuse drugs. Like after consulting Google, I go out there to a medicine shop and get myself an egg boosting supplement. You get it? Why did I use the word abusing? Because it was not prescribed to me by the doctor. And anytime I go out, maybe most times probably to the market, to event centers, and I hear people discussing about fertility issues, they don't necessarily have to be my friend. I don't even need to know them. I would just invade their discussion. I'll just, jump in, intrude, and join in the discussion train. Then in that case, I want to see, solutions to my problem. I was narrating my challenge to anyone who cares to listen. It was as bad as that. It was as serious as that. You get it? So I remember some time ago, I was in Market Square buying a certain beautiful outfit, and I heard another customer discussing about fertility challenges, what they took, and all that. I just had to like contribute to the discussion, narrate my problem. I didn't even mind who I was narrating my problem to. It was as serious as that. And there were times that I was even like, maybe I saw people standing at the roadside discussing about fertility stuff. You understand? I would just go to meet them. Ah, madam, how far now? Where don't know? Oh, clothes. Ah, what's in these clothes they do stuff? I don't hear about clothes, or, things like that. And they are like, no, not the only clothes you'll take. Oh, buy banana, buy baking soda, mix am with milk, drink am. I had a lot of things. I consume a lot of things. I'll go to the market. I'll buy a bunch of banana. I'll buy a whole bunch of milk. I'll buy, like, oh my god, I'll buy a crate of egg. I'll buy baking soda, mix everything together and drink. They said it boosts ovulation, whatever. And if I hear from another party saying, oh, okra water is still very good, it boosts, I went ahead. Anytime I go to the market for shopping, even when I'm not supposed to visit the market for, grocery shopping, I'll definitely go because of okra, just because I want to, get that solution. But solution wasn't coming forth. Like, I spended all options that were at my disposal and nothing was happening. This time around, I became very, desperate, even beyond how I thought I could be. Like, I prayed, I asked God questions, I started reflecting the sins of friends around me. I started, bringing my strong reasons to God, like, started challenging God of his authority. I know I said a lot of unprintable things. There were times that I had to ask if God was really alive. You get it? Because I was just trying to reminisce and think if maybe there was a time I ever did something wrong to my reproductive system, probably unconsciously, and I didn't know. And I also thought about a lot of times, or a lot of persons I know about, that went through complicated abortions. And like, in present days, they all have their children in trains. You get it? So I thought about things like this, that I really questioned God, and I said a lot of unprintable things to God, but I know God has forgiven me. Yeah, He has forgiven me. It's a God that loves us unconditionally. You get it? And, like, this season actually taught me a lot, and it made me to become a better person. It gave me a sense of resilience, it gave me a sense of discipline, it gave me a sense of amplified faith. You understand? So that was it. That I, in fact, I had to give up on the herbal drug I was taking. I gave up on the herbal drugs. I threw them away. I couldn't take them anymore. I was just like, what would be? You get it? I'm not cut out for this. I wasn't just comfortable because I wasn't seeing results. When you're doing something the same way and you aren't seeing results, sometimes you just want to change the approach. So this time around, I'll browse, I'll go, check out for fertility drugs, and I'll go to the medicine shop and get them myself. Sometimes without my husband even knowing about this, because when he knows about it, he's just gonna keep laughing and telling me, why you worry yourself? Things like, and I'll just look at him in like with so much anger, like, I don't blame you, you not be woman, you don't understand. You get it. So it was something really so serious, and that was it. So I kept believing. Among all these drugs I took, nothing worked. So I abandoned everything. I abandoned gynecological consultation. I was just like, it's time to face my career. Well, because in the course of days, I had to even, like, I had to stop working for some time, because at the time I was thinking probably this may be as a result of stress. So at the time I had to stop working so I can get ample time to rest and focus on myself and focus on my fertility journey. So that was it. And I gave up on everything, the herbal medications, the medical, the modern day drugs from the medical board and all that. I gave up on everything. And I just laid it off to God. I was like, what will be. Let me live my life. You get it? So we kept going that way. But I can tell you that during this season, I then understood that even when they tell you this food is good, you don't have to take it in excessive dose. When you consume an excess dose of such, like fruits and vegetables, they are in their raw state and they could be ash, they could be acidic to your system, which may not promote pregnancy. So we kept on going like that. We tried all forms of sexual styles. There were times I had to relate to some persons, like, this is my challenge. What do I do? Some people will tell me, after having the baby dance, and able to raise up your two legs so that circulation can be stimulated. And I must tell you that I did this for a lot of time and nothing kept, like nothing happened. I kept being frustrated by every step of the way. I said, there's no style I didn't do. Is it doggy? Is it missionary? Is it cross? In fact, I don't even know the names. So that was it. And in the course of that, I observed that there could be some, effects that may come when one is TTC. And I can tell you that sometimes when I'm on my ovulation period that I want to concentrate on, a baby dance, that's when I and Obi we have, our differences and baby dance wouldn't be possible. So it was just like devil was configuring um conflict season for every ovulation season. And that was also a delaying factor. Nevertheless, we kept pushing, we kept kicking. There are times that I just have to disregard, some challenges. And I can tell you that this time around, this fertility challenge started brooding quarrel in my house. I could see myself, saying things that usually I wouldn't want to say. I could see myself being troublesome when I'm not supposed to, because there was nothing that was right enough for Hobby to do. I could pick up offenses from everything he does. It was as bad as that. Like I could quarrel over food. Hobby could tell me, okay, I want to eat spaghetti and dodo. And I'll tell him, you don't need dodo. You don't need spaghetti. These are not food. And I'll go get, like unripe plantain. This is something he doesn't like. So I had to force him against his wish to consume diets that he never really liked. You get it? There are times he may say, okay, today make me some pancakes, and I'm like, no, you don't need flour today. You have to eat beans. You get it? So it was as bad as that. And there were times that he had to buy some soda drinks, and I had to get it from him. Like, you don't need to drink this. Don't you know it's not good for you? We are trying to have a baby. Why take soda? Things like that. And Obi was a free spirited person. It was never really as bothered as I am. It was just like, oh, when it's God's time, definitely baby is gonna come when it's God's time. Okay, chi as they say, and Bini will always say egosa. So that was his take about it. But I was very worried that I campaigned for rest. I campaigned for healthy living. I had to prevent him from taking, junk foods like burger, donuts, ice cream, and all that. I'm a lover of ice cream. But this time I had to stop taking all of these sweet things. If I needed ice cream, I want to prepare it my own way. If I needed smoothies, I always want to prepare them my own way. So that was what I was doing. I limited every sugar intake. I was just becoming more like a food police. So there were times that I had to listen to some gynecological lectures, and whenever Hobby is around me, I will increase the volume to the very maximum so that Hobby could, listen and hear the facts that are being spoken by the gynecologist who is taking the class. You understand? And these things, this attitude became very annoying to Hobby that sometimes he just had to walk out of the room. You get it? Because I was always bugging his hearing with gynecological teachings at all times. When he wants to sleep, I tell him you don't have to sleep with boxers. When he wants to bathe, I tell him you don't have to have a warm shower. When he wants to do his job, like he works with the laptop at all times, and I tell you, you don't need to place this laptop on your lap for a longer time. I will tell him, babe, it is called a laptop, not a desktop. You get it? So every little thing was enough for me to quarrel over. And because of this whole fertility adventure, a lot of money was also being spent. That at the time I was even considering to opt for IVF. Nevertheless, God kept us strong, regardless of the emotional drainage, regardless of the fact that I was almost slipping into depression because of this subject. But I needed to ask God if I really deserve such. You get it? And in the end, there was a light at the base of the tunnel. And I can tell you that with all the researches, with all the teachings, with all the reading and all that I made about gynecological courses, I could theoretically stand as a gynecologist. It was that deep. And so we just kept encroaching graciously until it came to a time that was 2 years and some months while we were encroaching the third year in our marriage. It was just a regular day. I was always, this time around, I had to go back to work. I had to go back to work because I couldn't lazy around. I couldn't afford to be idle because of fertility challenges. So I can tell you, like, when it's God's time, you may apply medical approach, you may apply spiritual approach, you may apply your own physical approach, thinking all of these things matters. I'm not disregarding the medical facts. I'm not disregarding the EBA influence. I'm not disregarding the physical approach. It could all count for good, you understand? But all I'm trying to say is that the God factor is the prime factor. So the God factor, which is that prime factor, was what actually worked out for me. And I can tell you that we were encroaching 3 years in marriage. This time around, I've been asking God, God, I beg, pick my call, you understand? When is it gonna be? Anytime we have a special celebration like a birthday, like an anniversary, I keep asking God, God, I want a gift from you. Let it be a gift of a child. God, I want a gift from you. Let it be a gift of a baby. And at the time, I just gave up on God. You get it? And that was when I just had this magnetic philosophy that what will be. And I kept on my life. I embraced the radio job. In the course of that 1 month, and we had a trip to Ghana, and I started feeling funny. I was expecting my period, and it wasn't coming forth. So I didn't want to be disappointed. I didn't have any test done. I just wanted to be sure that I was pregnant. And behold, I tried to get my urine tested, and it came out positive. I didn't believe it. I thought it was a joke or just maybe a test error. And I tried again for the second time. This was another day. It came out positive. I still doubted it because I became a pessimist this time around. Guess what? We decided to have a blood test. Then it came out. It came out extremely positive. Like, you need to see me jumping for joy, dancing for joy. Though my fears never left me. Just stay tuned. The story continues. So, why do I have to narrate this story? This is just a summary of it all. A lot really happened, but I just want to set somebody's faith out there, believing God for a child. I want you to know that when it is God's time, nothing can deny you of your blessings. You may have tried every approach, medical approach, herbal approach, physical approach, running exercises. I can tell you that I did a lot of aerobic exercise, trying to burn some fats that I never really had because I was told that okay, maybe obesity can also retard fertility. Maybe I had to try doing some aerobics. I did such, nothing productive came up. But when it was God's time, denial was defeated. So I'm wishing all TTC moms out there, baby dust, grab yours now.